Cancel.
Schweezy.
Last question we got here today. In the U.S., what happens if you don't pay a hospital bill? From a country with socialized healthcare, I have no concept of paying for hospital visits, etc. If you get injured, come out of hospital with a bill for $30,000. What happens if you don't pay it? So I worked in medical billing, so this is what actually happens, folks. So yeah, basically in the United States, so if you're European, you got to hear the horrors of what Americans have to go through if they're uninsured in the hospital. So yeah, basically, if you don't know, America does not have universal health care, which everyone's like, it just wouldn't work here. I'm like, yes, it would. It works in literally every other country that has it. It works out for them. So what would happen is you go to the hospital and you would receive care. So what happened? You can go to the hospital. They're not going to refuse you. They're going to help you. They take the Hippocratic Oath, I think. Isn't that what they take, where they help anyone regardless? And so they'll help you. And then some leeches. Hospitals are like, it's like 1/3 doctors, nurses, and shit like that, and like medical professionals, and the other 2/3 is like people who try to gouge money out of people. And like legitimately, it's funny. Like if you're in the hospital and you get your bill and it's like super huge, call like their billing services and ask for an itemized statement. For some reason, when you get your items itemized, somehow the price goes down. I don't know how that works. It doesn't sound like a scam to anyone. So basically, yeah, then you're going to get billed later for it. It does, if you do have insurance, it'll go through that. And the problem is a lot of insurance, the purpose of insurance is, like the idea of insurance is that you pay a premium every month, or your job does, et cetera, and then you receive care for it. However, insurance companies have gotten privy to it. It's like, that guy has a lot of health problems, meaning he's going to spend he's going to be at the hospital and, doctors a lot. So let's make it in a way where he still has to basically pay full price for services, even though he pays us already for it. Because the purpose of how insurance companies make a profit is that people pay them, but they don't pay out claims. Like that's how insurance companies make a profit. It's dark. It's bad. There's so many problems with it. So you go to the hospital and let's say you break your leg. And you go to the hospital, they somehow, they ask you for all your information. When they ask you for that information, and you don't have your ID or anything else on you, what you do is you could fill out just nonsense, and make up shit. But if you don't want to, but if you do put out your real information, then that's how, then after they insure their bill, after they go through the insurance and say you don't have insurance, it's just going to go straight to you and you're going to have to pay that full balance. And let's say it's like, $100,000, and even with the minimum payment plan from, the hospital billing or whatever, like there's no way I can even pay that a month without dying. And so you're like, I guess I can't do it. What happens is, the billing I worked at did 90 days. Some places don't do it. And a lot of times, like they know your information, but they just never bill you for it. All of a sudden 90 days passes without you being notified. And then they send it to a collection agency. And what collection agencies do is, which is also horrible, they'll pay like pennies on the dollar for your debt. They basically buy debt, and the hospital will take a loss on it because at least they made some money from that, since the person who owes the money can't pay it back. So then it goes in collections, and then it edits your credit score, and then if you have a low credit score, like, getting credit cards or trying to get a loan or trying to buy a house or a car, gives you through a lot of hoops, and then you end up paying a lot of interest and stuff like that. Because the idea of your credit of a credit score was like, how responsible is this guy with money? And like the low credit score is supposed to be like, oh, you're bad with money, so we gotta like work around that. And if you have a high credit score, like, oh, you're good with money, so you'll be fine. It's that, but it's like, $100,000 in medical debt. I'm like, I don't understand how anyone would be able to pay for that. Like a normal human being who just makes a living, middle class person, there's no way they can pay that. So then they basically treat you like, oh, you're bad with money because you had a medical emergency. So yeah, that's what happens if you don't pay hospital bills. It goes in your credit score or whatever. And remember, you know how boomers somehow have good credit? Yeah, because they didn't create the credit score until 1989. And my parents were like, I have good credit. I'm like, that's because like you've never struggled in your life, or like a lot of boomers never had to. Yeah.
Thank you for watching this clip.